You guys, it's up Shadow here. Welcome back to Space Engineers. Today we are working on the other side of this contraption here. Well, let's just get started. Why not? There hasn't been anything I have seen regarding updates or something like that. So not much to talk about there today. Apparently I'm missing steel plates. Yes, give me them steel plates. Right. So, let us place some blocks here. We'll have to see if we actually just weld the door now, or no. You know what? We'll not place doors yet. We'll place doors afterwards, like when we're doing the complete interior design. That's when we're gonna place doors. Fine, let's start placing the outer walls for now. So this is very standard, and then we have to think about how we're gonna do the whole thing with the connection of the conveyors, because I'm not 100% sure anymore, but if I'm not mistaken, then these two should be somehow connected to that. Let me just get a refinery and a assembler just to kind of visualize this. Because if we have this one is, I think, which way around is it? This way. Which means it has its conveyor port down at the lower right. And then we have two of these, and this one is orientated like this, which means what? No, wait, this means it has not really a connection like this. So what we need to do, I think we'll have to do something like this. We'll use a, oh damn, interior plates, obviously interior plates. There. Come on. There we go. Oh, and also we need some new interior plates from the base anyway. So actually we're gonna fly back in a second here. Something like that, and then that on top. I think these will have to weld by hand. I don't think I can get down there sufficiently enough to actually weld them with the ship. So let me just grab the necessary parts here. No, not the displays. The displays I don't need. So let me weld that. Like so. And then we can start placing the rest. The rest will be a conveyor on top, like this. So this means that both assemblers are connected, and then that means they are, since they're connected together, and one of them is connected to the whole structure of the refinery, and that of course then means everything is connected, because we're gonna connect these things here with the main network, like we did with the at the other side with the cryo chambers, more or less like that. And then we're gonna have a thingy on top, the top layer, which will be, I don't know how we're gonna call this, you know, the in-between ceiling. And then on top I want to have like a defensive platform with rocket launchers. So yeah, that's what's going to happen right now. Actually, should we just try to weld as much as we can and then go back? Just so we have a little bit more cargo room. And I'm still thinking I should just put a... You know what? Let's just do that. Let's get a medium cargo container and smack it on the back of this baby, because we have more room here. Right? Now we need computers and display, which we both have here. Lucky for us. There we go, more space. We'll just have to name this container correctly. Otherwise, this will be kind of awkward to find. Where is the... There it is. Just called it welder ship container 2. Then it should come up in the search. Obviously. And now let's get welding. Good old welding time. And I'm already thinking about how this is going to look. This whole defensive or weapons platform, or however you want to call that thing. I myself, I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna call it. But you know, I want to have, for one, a functional ship, but in the exterior you can play with some elements to make it look a little bit more appealing. Especially in large ships. I mean, sometimes with small ships you really want to go strictly functional, because you're constrained to a very small budget, but you know, with large ships... Did that just...
No
Did
fuel.
the large ship move, or did I move? I think that's the large ship. I'm moving the large ship of my... Oh no, it's me that is moving away. Alright, alright. It just looks like that. You know, the thing I was saying about designing. With a large ship, your margin of how much weight can you add to this until it becomes absolutely ridiculous is a lot bigger. And therefore, design elements are much easier to fit in your budget, so to speak, you know? Actually, we managed to weld all of this. Oh, it's possible, of course, that there was just like hundreds of these interior plates left in the connector, and there were some more in the actual container. That's absolutely possible. Alright, let's rise above a little bit. And now, should we weld that? Yeah, we have the resources, why not? There we go. Let me see how this looks. Yeah, I mean, you can get to the refineries. You don't really need to access the refineries and the these things per hand, I think. That's not really necessary. But, you know, it's nice that you can at least access the refineries. So, now, oh, I just saw, I forgot a whole wall of blocks here. That's kind of dumb. Let me fix that really quickly. And then comes this layer, and it's probably just going to be one layer between what is going to be the ceiling for the one room, and I'm not quite sure if right on top of this there will be the weapons platform, or if there will be another layer on top, like a double ceiling layer, just to align it correctly with the rest of the ship. Because if I put a roof on this right now and then build on top, then the turrets are a little bit sunken in comparison to this, you know, because the roof will be on this level down here. But let's just add it for now and see. Well, we won't see much actually, it's just gonna be a layer of metal on top of the rest. But it will seal that part of the ship and basically complete it, so to speak. Because this part will be, at least from the exterior and from the structure, will be completed. And, well, we have to only worry of about the interior stuff, like lights and doors and maybe some control panels, some LCD screens, I don't know. I'm still toying with the idea to get like one of these LCD info screen scripts, because they are quite fantastic. You know, you can display stuff like how much space do I have left in containers, how much fuel is left, you know, how fast are we flying, stuff like that. That would be very interesting, but we'll see if it's even if there's even space for something like that, like a big command central or a big information central where you can look all these things up. Oh, whoa. Sometimes this game is still a bit laggy. I wonder where when the next update is coming out. I'm still quite sure that it can't be too long, because they already made a trailer, but you know, every week I'm checking out, you know, is there something, is there maybe another thing they posted, is there some news, is there a new sneak peek, something. I think I said it time and time again, the weekly updates were very much a spoiler, or we were spoiled, let's put it that way. It was not a spoiler, we were spoiled by the updates, because it was nice to have a bit of movement every week, even though it wasn't much, you know? I miss the weekly updates. As a lot of people do, I think. Let's just put a conveyor here, I think, just to make sure that it's airtight, you know, because if you just, I'm not quite sure. I mean, there is a conveyor block one level below it, and if you put just a normal conveyor on top of that, I'm not quite sure if that is really airtight, because it's like, you know, edge on edge, you know what I mean? So if I would put a block here, you know, there's no like seal below it, like so. It's just like an over edge connection, and I had it in the past that sometimes these tend not to be airtight, but I'm not quite sure if that's still the case, since a lot of creative in the past has me dulled to these kind of things. I mean, sometimes in creative I even completely forget to put in like an oxygen system, because why do you need that in creative? Yeah, you need it just in case you want to ever export these things into your survival world and build them. And then you'll be quite annoyed that you have to, every like half or every 10 minutes of flying around in space, you have to leave the cockpit to go to one of your med stations and refill oxygen. It's kind of dumb, but yeah. Right, it's time to see how much welding we can get done here. Hopefully a lot before we need to head back. I'm still not sure about the whole design thingy, if there's gonna be a second floor piece. Although, if I'm thinking about it right now, since we want rocket launcher turrets, we will have to connect these up to the whole system, since they need to be fed with ammunition, right? Meaning, we would have to make like a semi-complex network of conveyors that would feed into the different turrets. This would at least take another layer. So actually, I think this will be one layer higher than the thing before it. Somehow. Didn't even consider that. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, because yes, I could put that network of conveyors into this layer, but that could potentially then look stupid from below. If you look at the ceiling, and the ceiling is not metal blocks, the ceiling is conveyors or conveyor blocks. That I find weird. I like to hide my stuff if possible. Oh, and I think I've run out of... Yes! Run out of steel. Back we go! And we also should probably fill up on all on the other things, like... well, maybe not the pipes, but interior plates, construction components, and motors, maybe. Cannot hurt to get some more of these. Our big solar platform here. I'm actually kind of proud of this thing. It's very, very basic, but it works. It does exactly what it needs to do, you know, and sometimes that's just enough in Space Engineers. Not everything needs to look pristine and nice and awesome and badass. Sometimes it just needs to work. Especially early on in your game. Righto! let's check our welder containers, and now we should be able to put in a shit ton of steel plates. There we go, one container completely filled with steel plates, basically. Or more or less. What else do we need? We need some of those, then we need some of those. And can we put in some more motors, maybe? Maybe in the connector or something? Which one is my connector? I think this one is my connector. Yeah, that will be fine. Oh, and I'll just need to have a trip to the med station. Grabbing myself some oxygen here. Jesus! Watch for the damn antenna, man. The fact that I haven't yet completely destroyed this thing, this whole station, is kind of amazing to me. Also, I just saw something that is curious. Oh! What? I have not completed this thruster? Why? How did that go? What the hell? How many thruster components do I need? I mean, I think I already have a thruster in that direction, but still. Just leaving something like that unfinished is weird. How much can I get in my... Oh, I can get a shit ton of them in my inventory. Neat! Do not stand right in front of it. There we go. I have no idea how I forgot about that. You know, from a distance, this really starts to look good. You know, at the beginning when you have only the flat, like the floor plan, it looks very blocky and kind of stupid. But then, as soon as you start to add things, you know, you start to think like, hey, yeah, this starts to look like something. I like it. Really do. And we're off into space. Damn it. Come on. Down. Sometimes I almost wish there would be a bit more arcadey flight controls in space, but you know what? That's part of being in space. Okay, didn't crash. Nice. I'll just weld these one back here, just in case there's not enough plates in them. And on we go, and then we still have about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 minutes to start designing. I mean, before I can lay out the conveyor network, I need to decide the placements of the turrets. So, yeah, this is gonna be funny. I need to really think about how this is going to look in the end. You know, sometimes you can really go like a modular build, you know, just build that layer and then the next layer and then the next. But sometimes you actually have to plan ahead, and that's when it gets complicated. Because if you plan ahead and do it wrong, you'll sometimes potentially have to rip open half of your station again to even get to that stuff, you know? That's how it goes, right? There we go. Just 5,494 steel plates to go, or something. There we go. I think, isn't it, if you have a blueprint in a projector, it displays you how many items you need, right? How many, like, steel plates. It does not display you how many completed blocks a ship has, you know, like, oh, this consists of 5,000 steel light armor blocks, 20,000 conveyor blocks. It doesn't tell you that, it just tells you the raw material cost, doesn't it? Because sometimes that would be very interesting to know how many actual steel plate or light armor blocks, how many conveyor blocks, how many torpedoes or rocket launchers rather have you built into the ship. That sometimes would be very interesting to figure out. How many interior lights? Although sometimes if you don't rename them just by the sheer number at the end of the last one, you can tell. Alright, already a good chunk of that welded. You know, sometimes I'm thinking about making a bigger welder ship, but I'm beginning to doubt if it's gonna be even effective enough. Because bigger welder ship means you'll be better welding stuff like I'm doing right now, these big flat surfaces. But then as soon as it gets into a bit more like crowded territory, the big welder ship is gonna be useless. Also, like just maneuvering a big welder ship is a lot more painful than a normal, like, even this small one is quite annoying sometimes to maneuver. Well, I guess if you have like a shit ton of uranium, you can really make a powerful ship with a lot of reactors and gyros and thrusters. I tend to like scrap with like on the minimum with my thrusters and gyros, especially on these small workships. Just, you know, on a need-to-have basis, so to speak. I try not to overload these things if I can. I mean, even this one is a bit overloaded. If you see the power usage down there in the right corner, that's nowhere near 100%. But yeah, still. Sometimes it's actually nice to have a little bit more power. But also sometimes you just want a ship that actually can fly for a long time without needing to be recharged. And then your reactor might be a bit too powerful for the ship, but you don't put on more thrusters because you want to make it efficient, you know? But yeah, that's just a question in design, really. For what do you need it? What are your resources? And you know, sometimes I'm thinking like, yeah, you know, we might run out of uranium quite quickly at some point. Even though the universe is endless, you still need to find new sources of uranium, and that's kind of annoying, so, yeah. Right, here we are. Now, first thing that we need to do is to count how much blocks do we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... 12, 13, 14... Oh, Jesus, I think I'm... Ah! It's so much easier in creative, you just make a line over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. If we count this. And I'm now thinking, do we need an uneven amount or an even amount of blocks? I think uneven is better. Right? So let's see. With this it would be 21. So if we go in 1 block each, like so, and this is the beginning of the actual defense platform, like the edge of it, then we have 19. And a rocket launcher takes up, I think, a space of like 3 by 3. If I'm not mistaken. So in 19, you should be able to fit, in theory, 6 rocket launchers, but we want to have a little bit separation between them, just from a style point of view. So if we put a block in between each of them, I think we're more like down to 3 or 4. We'll have to check. But this is a good start, I think. Making this like the rim or whatever you want to call it, the outer border. Now let me get a rocket or a missile launcher. Actually, it's called a missile launcher. What's the difference between a rocket and a missile, by the way? I think I should know that, but is a rocket fired from a is a rocket just a dumb, like, straight flying thing, and a missile is actually guided? Is that the difference? Oh well. So one of these, and then 1 block space, another one, then 1 block space, another one. No, this doesn't work. maybe like this. Have like one space at the outside. Place the first one here, and then one space here, and then that, and then we would end up with 4 rocket launchers. I think that's good. 4 rocket launchers is good. Alright. Time to set up the conveyors then. For which we obviously need some of these. First up, let's set up a conveyor block. And I think this is the easiest way to do it. Oh, wait. Then here is the first set of turrets, and then the second set of turrets will be here. Yes, I think I see how this is going down. Oh wait, that was not enough. One more. Right. And now, how far back should they be? Should it be here or one back? What do you think? You know what? We'll do it that way. Have them like over here. Oops. Over here and over here, and on the other side the exact same spiel, which is a nice word. Spiel. I know you use that in English, but it's obviously just borrowed from German, isn't it? Or did that word exist before the German word Spiel? Or is it something completely different? Sometimes I'm really confused, because there are some words in English that are lent from German. Sometimes they just sound similar. It's very confusing at times. Kindergarten. Or rucksack. These kind of words. Did the German exist first, or did the... I know there's some words where there's just no translation in English, like Schadenfreude or something like that, because that word, that concept of a word doesn't exist in English, but it does in German. You know, there's words like that all over the world, obviously, but yeah. Okay, well, right now we're just filling up the rest of this layer with blocks. Oh shit, I might actually need another layer. Oh, damn. Let me just think about this right now. Because if it just like if we put the turrets here, then we'll have an exposed block of you know what I mean? An exposed block of conveyor back there. So I think actually this needs to be different. They need to go up one level. So this is gonna be even higher up. This is interesting. This will make the design of the ship a bit more interesting. Give the whole ship a little different like height levels, you know? So this area might be a lot higher than the actual cockpit that we have in front here. You know, normally you think like maybe the bridge is the highest thing on the ship, but not really. Not right here. It's gonna be interesting nonetheless, I can tell. Alright, let's fill it up with steel. Oh, damn it. Let's just take 200 because we're gonna run out again anyway. There we go. Just fill that up. Yeah, we need 2 layers because we need to, or I want to cover the conveyors. Because just in case, let's say you're in a battle. Your missile turrets are getting fed ammunition through the system. You know, obviously the turrets have their own inventory. But just imagine the turret getting cut off. You know, like a lucky shot hits that one piece of conveyor that is exposed at the back. And your turret is cut off from the main system, meaning it won't get fed new ammunition and soon it will run out. Terrible. Not a good idea. And that's why I sometimes really hate the turrets in this game, because they take up so much space. There's a lot of mods that fix that, or I don't want to say fix, because it's not like it's a bug. It's a decision. It makes you change your design. It was designed that way. But sometimes, if you want to make a really beautiful design, you will want to get like a mod, like a small turret mod, which basically makes these 1x2 or even 1x1 sometimes. Makes it a lot easier to actually design something. Now let's try just to weld this as far as we can get this time, and if we run out of materials, this episode will end basically. That's a good like deadline. But yeah, then I'm thinking of something like you know, you'll have the turrets, and then between the turrets there will be like some slopes, and then in the middle will be like some kind of wall, you know, so that they're separated from each other. So the turrets on the right can only shoot like in a certain angle, you know. You know, technically speaking, that's you reduce the effective engagement radius of your turret, but you also shelter them that they cannot get hit from every side. So it's not as effective, you know, like maybe if you attack this large ship with 3-4 small ships, and then 2 fly on the right side, 2 on the left, and the turret can only shoot in one direction. Like this, even if they divert the attention to one direction, on the other side you cannot really hit the turret, and there's other turrets firing at you. So, you know, that's my thought. Also, I just want to... In this case, I don't think we'll ever in single player need that kind of firepower, so we might as well make it look a little bit cool, right? And then we'll have to deal with the how it's going to connect to the rest of the ship. That is going to be a pain, I'm almost sure. Because making like the transition between different parts of the ship, especially if these parts have different thickness, sometimes is really bothersome. Because, you know, you want to make it with slopes, but sometimes you just don't have enough like space for these slopes. Sometimes you want to completely do something unique, and then it's gonna look weird and blocky, and designing a ship is pain, and sometimes a little bit of happiness if you actually get something right. That's how it goes, believe me. Sometimes I'm really not sure if I'm actually pushing my ship around, or if just the small welder ship is getting pushed back. It's so weird from the perspective. Sometimes I cannot tell. Alright, we already welded a big part of that. Just for the thumbnail, it would obviously be great if we actually managed to complete the whole part here. But, you know, I think we just run out of steel. Yeah, we ran out of steel. Indeed. Well, okay. But, you can see we managed to put a lot of more weight, more mass on the ship. And I think I actually gonna make the preview screen of the inside of the other part of the ship that we just completed, the factory part. Something like that. You know, refinery. Yeah, refinery. There we go. Perfect. Like so. Right. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.